When the customer came in complaining about the check engine light being on, I started the diagnosis by connecting a scan tool. The code that came up was P0335, which indicates an issue with the crankshaft position sensor A circuit. I checked the live data at idle and noticed that the crankshaft position sensor was sending an intermittent signal. To further investigate, I snapped the throttle and observed that the sensor signal would occasionally drop out, confirming the inconsistency. Next, I performed a visual inspection of the crankshaft position sensor wiring harness and connector to check for visible damage such as frayed wires, corrosion or loose connections, but everything appeared intact. To go deeper, I used a lab scope to backprobe the signal wire at the crankshaft position sensor harness connector. While gradually increasing the engine's speed, I monitored the signal on the lab scope and saw that it continued to drop out intermittently. I also wiggled the wiring harness while watching the signal to rule out any issues with the harness itself, but there was no change. To ensure nothing was overlooked, I disconnected the crankshaft position sensor harness connector and inspected the terminals for corrosion, bent pins or poor contact, but found no visible faults. I then used a multimeter to check the wiring harness for shorts or open circuits, but the results showed the circuit was functioning properly. These findings confirmed that the crankshaft position sensor itself was faulty. To fix the issue, I replaced the crankshaft position sensor. After the replacement, I cleared the fault codes and performed a road test to ensure the vehicle was operating correctly. The check engine light stayed off, and no new fault codes appeared, confirming the problem was resolved. This process was necessary to systematically eliminate potential causes and ensure the root of the issue was identified and fixed correctly. The goal was not only to replace the faulty sensor, but also to verify that no other related components or wiring issues were contributing to the problem.